2018년 영화계의 혜성처럼 등장한 현대 호러 마스터 아리에스터 감독. 오컬트 호러 영화 유전'과 미드소마 단 2편의 영화로 미국 영화계의 라이징 스타가 된 그가 새 영화로 돌아왔습니다.
I've been thinking about this movie for like 10 years.
There's a part of me that can't believe we're making this film.
It's epic.
아리에스터 감독이 10년을 준비했다는 이 영화, 가장 나다운 영화라며 애정을 보였다는데요. 미국 개봉 당시 거장 마틴 스코세이지 감독은 이 영화를 보고
one of the most extraordinary new voices in world cinema right here. Unique and so powerful that there are very few filmmakers now on this level that are doing that.
매우 독특하고 강력하다고 극찬했는데요. 개봉 전부터 국내 영화 팬들의 관심을 한몸에 받고 있는 이 영화에 대해 아리에스터 감독 본인과 직접 이야기 나눠봤습니다.
Hi Ari, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Your very first time ever visiting Korea. What was your first impression?
I've always wanted to come. I'm a huge fan of Korean film. Everybody's been so lovely and the food has been great, and I'm excited to explore a little bit.
You're also a big, well-known for your love of Korean films. From one of the interviews, you mentioned that director Na Hong-jin's The Wailing as like the best horror movies that you watched in recent years.
Yes, that's right.
And you also
love that
mentioned that Lee Chang-dong's Secret Sunshine was like a must-watch film.
Yeah, I love all of Lee Chang-dong's films. I love poetry, I love Burning, I love Peppermint Candy, Oasis. Yeah, he's great.
So like, what made you like Korean films so much?
The quality of them. So many great films are coming from this country, especially in the last 30 years. But you also have so many classics that I think are really important. You have Kim Ki-young, you have Oboltan is a great film. Your best filmmakers are playing with the form in a way that very few filmmakers around the world are. There's an adventurousness to the best films that are coming out of here that's very exciting, especially to genre filmmakers.
Wow, thank you. As a Korean, we're very flattered to hear that you like Korean films so much.
I love them.
And you even mentioned that you should have been born Korean.
Yeah, I think so.
What exactly do you mean by that?
I think that the films I make, maybe in their DNA, feel
Like you?
well, they feel like, the films that I'm making, like they're indebted to Korean film as much as anywhere else.
There are like specific scenes that you liked from any Korean movies?
Well, there are so many. I loved Decision to Leave, the new Park Chan-wook. His language, his film language is as sophisticated as anybody's. I really admire his work.
I heard that you're good friends with director Bong Joon-ho.
Well, we're friendly. I will be meeting him in a couple days. We'll have dinner together.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I love him, and I think he's one of the world's greatest living filmmakers.
지난 7월 1일 봉준호 감독과 GV를 진행한 아리에스터 감독. 이는 한국 팬들과 만나는 자리였다고 해요.
I don't know if you already know, but you have quite a following in Korea. And a lot of Korean fans are thrilled to meet you. To commemorate your visit to Korea, Korean fans have made you a Korean name. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's Esundok. It's a play on your last name, Esther.
Okay.
You see how Esther, Esundok, they kind of sound similar? Do you think the name Esundok suits you?
Sure. I like it more than my real name.
Okay, good that you like it because we prepared a little something for you. It's called 족자 in Korean. It says your Korean name,
Oh, wow. Oh, that's beautiful.
Esundok.
Esundog.
Yeah, it's a Korean traditional way of handwriting.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so you can bring it
I will.
with you.
I will. I'll put this
glad
up.
you like it.
Oh, thank you so much.
I can just roll it back. The name Esundok kind of gives us the sense of purity and naivete. I think it's in a way similar to Bo from your new movie.
Oh, great. I'm a lot like Bo, so that's appropriate.
You're a lot like Bo?
I am, yeah.
Oh yeah?
I think so. Unfortunately.
병원에서 정신과 상담을 받고 있는 보. 상담 도중 엄마한테 전화가 걸려오지만 어떤 이유에서인지 전화를 받지 않습니다.
I'm visiting my mother tomorrow. Has it? Several months.
Well, you're feeling guilty about that.
의사의 질문에 알 수 없는 표정만 지을 뿐 아무 대답을 하지 못하는 보. 집으로 돌아가는 보의 눈에 비친 세상은 혼돈 그 자체. 하루하루가 현실인지 환상인지 헷갈리기만 한 봄은 사실 어린 시절부터 자신에게 집착하는 엄마 때문에 엄마의 말은 무조건 들어야 한다는 강박관념에 시달리고 있었습니다. 엄마를 만나러 가기로 한 몇 시간 전 엄마에게 전화를 거는데
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to call my mom.
전화기 너머로 들려오는 낯선 남성의 목소리.
This is your mom's number? I just called the police. They're already on their way. There's a lady on the floor, well, the body of a lady, and there's no face or head.
갑작스런 어머니의 부고 소식에 집에 가는 길이 어머니의 장례식장에 가는 길이 된 보. 그리고 그 과정에서 벌어지는 기이한 사건들. 과연 보는 무사히 어머니의 장례식에 참석할 수 있을까요?
As soon as you get home.
I know.
Korean fans are going wild after watching the trailer of this movie, Bo is Afraid. And I brought some of the comments from the YouTube. So want to take a look?
Sure.
Okay. Do you agree?
Yeah, it seems like he's ready for the film.
Yeah, I think like the whole movie's tone is like this.
No hope?
No hope. Like some of the scenes were expressed like in a very beautiful way. Some of them are like animated scenes and kind of like fairy tale like devices. But that's what made the story like more sad and more devastating. And I felt so bad for Bo.
I feel the same way.
And
Yeah, it's probably not. The metric for normality kind of eludes me anyway, so I couldn't even say, but probably not. The film is about a very fearful man who needs to go visit his mother. He's afraid of most things, but he's most afraid of his mother. And then something happens to prevent him from going home, and then he gets very bad news about his mother. The film is about his journey home, which is complicated by a lot of things.
yeah, a lot of bizarre things happened to him. We can't really talk about the movie without talking about Hoakinpinik's. What made you choose him to play the role?
Well, because he's Joaquin Phoenix. He's my favorite actor in the world. It was the best experience I've ever had working with anybody. He's amazing. He gives all of himself to whatever project he's in. Just speaking from my experience, I've never worked with anybody who was more devoted to the work. And he's just a very decent guy.
So what was his first reaction when you asked him to play the role?
I think he doesn't make any decision lightly. So we had to have a lot of conversations with me explaining why he should do it. It was a courtship, and we spent a lot of time on the phone talking and getting to know each other. And we found that we were very similar and that we worked in very similar ways.
Since Bo is such a complex character, I try to guess what thoughts could be in his head. Actually, I had a lot of questions while watching this movie, and it kind of all came down to one question. Is it real or a dream?
Well, I think it's real. As I said, the world of Bo is Afraid is the world of Bo is Afraid. It's Bo's world.
So it's real.
Yes, but we are also in Bo's subjectivity. We're experiencing the world of Bo is Afraid through Bo. The film should feel the way that life feels to Bo.
That's why I kind of had a hard time watching it. I just could feel him so well. I was like absorbed to the movie, especially like in the beginning where we could get a glimpse of his anxiety. It was just so hard to watch. There's a scene on the New York street. It's just a typical day in New York, but when you take a closer look at it, there are like these crazy things happening. And I think that made it look like a Platonic fairy tale kind of feeling. And that's what made it more, devastating and depressing. And was there like a reason or your intentions to choose such tone?
Well, I hope the film is funny. And so the tone, I think, is pretty arch and almost cartoonish. I mean, I see the film as a dark comedy. So my hope is that people will laugh. But I think the best way to watch the film is to be open and to just sort of give yourself to the film, because it changes shape a lot. It does change tones. And by the time you get to that play that you're talking about, the film has undergone a lot of change since the city section.
Of course, mom is a big thing for him. I think there are two women who have a big influence on him. One is mom, Mona, and the other is Elaine. Mom is trying to control him in every way. Elaine is trying to coax him to rebel in a way. And I think these two women have a constant influence on him, even as an adult. So what was the number one concern for you when writing about these two characters?
It was just trying to be true to who I felt they were and true to what I felt Bo needed from those women. In a lot of ways, the film is dealing with archetype, and so, the challenge was, how do I make these people function as archetypes and at the same time have their own voice and feel more or less real? More than even just being Bo's mother, she's meant to be like the ultimate mother.
I think she's the object of love and fear for Bo. She's someone that he can't go against.
Yeah.
Isn't really a household name in Korea, but she left such a big impression. How was it working with her and all the other actors?
Wonderful. I was blessed with a really amazing cast. Patti LuPone is a legend in the theater in America. She's such a remarkable actress, but really, really fun to work with. She really throws herself at the part in a way that was pretty thrilling to see. And we had Nathan Lane, we had Amy Ryan, Parker Posey, Stephen McKinley Henderson.
You had Armin.
Yeah, Armin is so wonderful in this.
And some people even thought that he was AI-generated character because he looked so much like him.
So good. Yeah, it was a joy to work with all those actors.
You had worked on this movie for 10 years.
Well, I wrote the first draft of this about 10 years ago, but I haven't been working on it consistently for 10 years. But it's been in my head for a long time, and I've been wanting to bring Bo's world to life for a long time.
And you mentioned that this is a work that is most like you. What do you mean by that?
My sense of humor is in the film. My personality is... I dug pretty deep into my own guts on this movie.
By preparing for this interview, I found out that this wasn't our first time that we're introduced to Bo. Back in 2011, we were introduced to a man named Bo. Does he have anything to do with this movie? Are they same Bos? Or?
I guess so. That was a short film that I made when I was just getting out of school. Just kind of an experiment, playing around. And then from there I started working on the script that would eventually become Bo is Afraid, but at that point I was really just tinkering around with ideas.
And you actually showed your appearance.
I did.
Yeah. Was it like an artistic decision or was it just for the sake of entertainment?
I was pretty young, didn't have a lot of money, didn't have a lot of resources. So I think it was just for lack of an actor that I stepped in to...
Do you ever plan to be in another movie?
My voice shows up often in the films, but...
Now that you have a lot of money, you don't have to.
Do I?
Let's talk about the premiere in San Francisco. After the premiere, the response that Bo is Afraid received was quite something. Some say that it was the most funniest, like you mentioned, and the most explicit movie that you've ever made. And some also say that it's very unpredictable and even labeled it nightmare comedy. What genre would it be? Would you say the movie is?
Well, I've labeled it a nightmare comedy, but if people are coming to that on their own, that's good. That's what I'm going for.
I actually watched the movie for a few weeks ago with my staff. After the movie was finished, we couldn't leave the room because there were so many things we wanted to talk about and wanted to ask each other. I think that's what you wanted your audience to feel like, while or after watching the movie.
I love that. That's wonderful. I think that this film is about an unlived life. Bo is somebody who is so crippled by his own fears that he doesn't really engage with his own life. It's a film that's about guilt. It's a film that's about ambivalence. It's about anxiety. I hope that the film kind of puts you in the experience of anxiety. I wanted to be true to all those themes and follow them through to their logical conclusion. So the film ends in a way that felt to me like the only way that it could possibly end.
Do you think that people who enjoyed your last movie, Hereditary and Midsommar, will like this one as much as they did?
I hope so. It's
because it's kind of different.
It is. It's less beholden to genre. It's a much different film. It's an odyssey. It is a comedy, so people should come in ready for that.
You want them to laugh?
I want people to laugh. I hope people laugh. I hope people find it funny. And I hope it touches people in one way or another. I hope people can give themselves to it and get lost in it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they will. It's the one and only kind of a movie, in my opinion.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Hope you enjoy your time in Korea.
I'm sure I will. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.